All right, welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
Not Gary.
And we're going to talk about oil today.
Drill, baby,
And we're
drill.
not talking the type of stuff that Jed Clampett found in the Ozarks there.
That's right. Shooting at some food.
Um, so Trump had a presser in the White House, and he had the CEOs of a few major oil companies present there. And in that presser, he discussed how these oil companies had committed to putting $100 billion into Venezuela to get at their oil, and how this is going to benefit the Venezuelan people or something along those lines. And it was met with a bunch of effectively denials. I'm going to play an audio clip here. Again, this is from Mr. Global. If you saw the video yesterday, it's sort of the same intro, but this is a different video where he's talking about this. Now, this is somebody who's been working in the oil and gas industry for like 20, 30 years or more, and he understands the industry. This is the fellow that got information that the crude oil in Venezuela is dirty. It's got a lot of contaminants, a lot of stuff in it that needs to be cleaned up, and you can't sell it for $60 a barrel. Plus, the infrastructure is crap, and it's going to take a lot of money, apparently $100 billion,
$100 billion
to get the infrastructure up just so that you can efficiently remove this oil, but you still have to clean it up, and you can't make a profit on it at $60 a barrel. You'd have to have like $100, $120 a barrel to make it worth the oil company's while to do it. So I'm going to play this one for you here, where he discusses the White House meeting.
Uninvestable is how Darren Woods, the CEO of Exxon, described Venezuela to Donald Trump today in their little meeting at the White House. Uninvestable. Keep in mind, this is after we've already been repeatedly told that they had pledged $100 billion or more to Venezuela. You mean we were lied to? So look, uninvestable. That's pretty clear. I had a little sliver of hope that U.S. oil executives would actually be honest with the president, because nobody else does, and it looks like they were. Yeah. Now, Donald Trump said, if you don't want to go, just say so. I got 25 more companies lined up in a classic used car salesman fashion. There's nobody else lined up. All the money was in that room, except for Saudi Aramco. Uninvestable. Told you. Thanks.
Now, the other thing to throw in with that is that Donald Trump has done this before, and I've noticed it multiple times, where he says somebody has made a commitment to something, and they're caught flat-footed because they've never made such a commitment. Basically, he lies and puts people on the spot, and what Trump has learned over the years is that people will try to explain away something without saying that Donald Trump was wrong. So they'll say, well, we've discussed this or something like that, or, we haven't really reached an agreement. We're working on details. They try and soften it, but Trump puts them on the spot and basically challenges them to call him a liar to his face. Mm-hmm. And we saw that with Mike Pence in tweets like, Mike Pence is going to do the right thing on January 6th when it comes to the votes. He basically told the world that Mike Pence agreed with him. So that if Mike Pence doesn't does the right thing and doesn't interrupt the counting, they're going to look at Mike Pence like he's a liar. And, it breaks his promises and breaks his oaths. Yeah. Although it's something he never committed to.
Mm-hmm. Woods is the from Exxon, and what he said about Venezuela is that significant changes have to be made to those commercial frameworks in the legal system. There has to be durable investment protections, and there has to be a change in the hydrocarbon laws in the country. Otherwise, they don't want to invest in Venezuela, because it just means as soon as there's the next regime change or the next president comes in, all of that investment could go away again, could get nationalized again.
If Venezuela was wise, they would say, oh, yeah, come on. put a double $100 billion in here, fix everything. I'm sure we won't nationalize it again. Oh, look, we put it up to a popular vote, and people voted to nationalize our oil and gas industry again.
Again, yeah.
Thanks
Thanks for fixing everything.
Yeah, suckers.
All right, so let's take a look at the energy around Venezuelan oil. So, how are the oil executives leaning in this case? Because if they say no, there's 25 other.
Oh yeah,
25 other companies.
Yeah, I mean, the guy at Rotten Robbie's and what are the random gas stations?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I can picture in my head. I don't know if I could name any of the actual.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll be kicking down your door. I'm sure Jed Clampett's going to take his tens of millions from his bubbling crude and invest in Venezuelan oil. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah. So okay. So we gotta rush and get it now because we don't want those other 25 companies getting in line in front of us. So. How are the U.S. oil executives feeling about investing $100 billion or more in Venezuela?
Was that a 72 Pinto you're offering me? Oh no!
Can we get out of the? It's like the Southwest Airlines want to get away.
Exactly.
How do I get out of this? So Foundation's reading on how the U.S. oil executives are feeling about this. Six of Swords. They're trying to find some way to navigate this process.
And Trump puts them on the spot. He causes the chaos, and now they have to navigate the chaos.
Yep. The challenge is that if we cross Trump, we are kicked out of the inner circle.
Yeah, and
then he comes after us because that's what he does. If you don't show loyalty, then you're obviously enemy and I come after you. Energy underneath it is temperance, just trying to reset and find balance.
How do we navigate this horrible situation?
Yeah, how do we placate dear leader, but at the same time keep our shareholders and our investments?
Yeah, because you're talking about some guys that are very powerful and make lots and lots of money.
In the past, you got the Three of Swords. Probably unhappy that their oil rigs got nationalized.
I'm going to go sooner than that. Trump has screwed the oil industry time and time again.
That's true.
And the worst of it was the deal he made with Russia and Saudi Arabia right about the time the pandemic was starting, about asking them to cut back production. And which they did, and then they didn't ramp it back up again. And what ended up happening was that gas prices shot way up. The dollars per barrel, oil barrel prices went much higher. So they were making a lot of profit, and there wasn't any incentive for them to produce more. This is like when Biden was not president at this point. So Biden got to suffer with Trump's deal. And then, at some point, like around the time that Trump was coming back in, Saudi Arabia started cranking out oil production, and that dropped the price of crude oil. Again, I'm getting all this from Mr. Global. I'm not smart enough to know this. This is from listening to sources that seem reliable and informative. By doing that, a lot of money's been invested in American drilling. We were producing the most oil in the world.
Yeah.
Now you crash the price of oil because you start producing a bunch too. Now the American companies, it costs them more to frack it than it costs Saudi Arabia to get it out. Now the American it costs too much money. They're losing money per barrel. So now they have to start going through operations to cap up these. They dumped a bunch of money in, and now they can't get their return on investment. So now they have to maybe stop doing their production and lower their production, and it's going to cause oil companies to go bankrupt. And then once you've thoroughly destroyed the American oil market, then Saudi Arabia can back off again, have the price of oil come back up, and they're making money hand over fist, and there's not enough American oil companies there to take advantage of it because they've been decimated, and now they need to restructure, reorganize, get everything straightened away. So it'll be years before they're able to capitalize on the increased prices. It's all a business decision, and Trump F's it up. He has screwed these guys over before, and he will probably do it again.
Okay, I trust him.
Sorry, long explanation, but it explains why that card's there.
Current energy. um, Trump wants to move this forward. You know, he's committed. He's committed the United States to this.
Yeah.
Because he's basically taken Maduro out. He's, you know, the vice president's taken over, and Trump is going to move this thing forward. So he's going to have an expectation that the U.S. oil companies are going to jump in on.
It's like he comes up with this plan and doesn't bother telling other people that they are instrumental in his plan.
Well, I think he actually, what I read was the oil executives knew that the invasion was, or the military operation was going to happen before it happened.
I believe that.
And so they clearly had conversations about next steps if I do this. And that's what, to me, that's what this card is. Okay, I did it. And we talked about next steps. Here come the next steps.
Yep.
I want my 100 billion. Overarching energy is the death card. That's interesting. So, I think the oil executive companies recognize that this could be the end of the line for their investment if they put it in there. They put 100 billion into Venezuela. There's no guarantee it's going to survive.
It's lost money. This is a lost cause. I was about to say, damned if you do, damned if you don't, but they don't want to do it.
Yeah, and it could also be, you know, the picture on this shows a king that's dead, right?
Oh,
and what happens if Trump is no longer an influence?
Well, not only that, you know, readings I've done in the past, and it correlates with some other readers. Trump's ouster is driven by oligarchs.
Mm-hmm.
Oil executives fall into the oligarchy class.
Yep. So it's, you know, if Trump is no longer a factor in this, their investment is done.
Oligarchs don't like losing money. That's not their thing.
Yeah. Lesson we learned is the Page of Cups. You bought into the crazy. This was a crazy notion. This was not something that was well thought out. You know, you've got to, if you're investing $100 billion, you really have to have a long-term view. And this is Trump is not long-term. He's tactical as hell. Lesson to be learned, 8 of Pentacles. So this just, how much money is it going to take to invest in here? How much money do we have? Our shareholders, you know, they want their dividends and they want their stock price to stay up. So they're ultimately going to make the decision that benefits their shareholders.
This is a total grift, because I think as I've heard, was it a Vance or Rubio? Somebody said that the money that they would collect from the sale of Venezuelan oil would go to a special fund, not to the U.S. Treasury, but to a special fund that Trump said he would have 100% control over.
Someone mentioned that in the comments. I hadn't seen that.
And it's like, so basically, this is just a huge grift.
I wonder how Congress would feel about that.
Just saying. Just saying. So, that's the question I'm going to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like the question.
Basically, a huge effing grift on Trump's part. Because also, he's running this whole thing like a mob boss. He's put, the new vice president has been sworn in, and you can picture Trump saying, here's the deal. You're going to be doing what we tell you to do, and we're going to be taking this much money, this percentage, off the top, and what's left over is for you to deal with what you want. If you want to be in charge, and then, you know, picture corrupt governments grifting off of their people. It's like, we're going to take this part of your business, but you can have all the rest of it. If you don't want to play ball with us, we will remove you and we will put the next person, and we won't make this offer to the next person. At some point, there's going to be some power hungry, greedy person who's going to say, "Hell yeah! You want to take $20 billion off of our $100 billion sales? That's fine. That $80 billion left, I'm going to take my $5 billion from that, and I'm going to be wealthy as f. And plus all the other things that they can grift off of.
Yeah.
So sure, why not? Imelda can have 1,000 pair of shoes in each room.
Yep.
Those shoes don't buy themselves,
Exactly.
Imelda Marcos, man, we're digging back here, but that's what corruption and grifting looks like.
Yes, it does.
Is this just a big giant grift? We got the Page of Swords, the Emperor, Six of Cups, the time-honored tradition, the Strength card. Okay, yeah. The Two of Cups. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think, and the new vice president is a female. The new president's a female, former vice president. There's the offer. Here's the agreement. Here's Donald Trump, I was about to say slumlord, the mafia don leveraging.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to say yes. She's going to agree to it. Is it a grift? It skipped right past that. Dude, it's a grift. You just wasted 5 minutes of people's time telling them it's a grift. Why are you asking such dumb questions? What you should be asking is she going to take the offer? The offer is yes.
The answer is yes. So how is Congress going to react?
Harumph, harumph,
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. Knight of Pentacles.
Where do they get their money?
Hey, how do I get my hands on this?
It's funny because it's like Congress controls the purse strings. They're the ones who advance money.
Yep.
The Treasury.
Yeah. How do I get my hands on that
I don't
money?
think they're gonna go for that, man.
I would
The
hope
Republicans. Who knows? It's the damn Republicans, man.
the all pentacle reading.
Yeah.
The challenge is we have the power of the purse, and yet we're sitting here watching you take the money.
Yeah. And everybody in Congress knows that Trump is grifting this. They're not blind to that. They just look the other way.
The energy underneath it is the world. So the world is the end of the cycle. You could say, hey, the world is watching us. It really would speak quite a statement if all of a sudden Trump had this as his own personal piggy bank. The world will see the true corruptness of the U.S. government.
And that that money's going to be put into, not Swiss-based bank accounts, but like the Seychelles and the Cayman Islands and stuff like that. So it's money that's going to be internationally. It's going to be hard to get it back once it goes.
Yeah. But since it's about Congress, how will Congress react? The world is watching. We need to put an end to this. This could be the end of the congressional world. Because, it depends on how the Supreme Court also rules on tariffs. If they say Trump has the ability to conduct tariffs at will, and he has the ability to drive money straight into his own coffers, why do we even have Congress? What's the point? In the past, you had the Ace of Wands. You have to be willing to start and take an action. An action needs to be taken. Or an action has been taken because it's in the past. Current energy, more pentacles. I'm going to have the whole royal family here as soon as the king shows up. Congress has to sort of reestablish what they're there for. What's their purpose? Right? It's power of the purse is one of the biggest.
Guess what? Dictators don't need the Supreme Court, and they don't need senators, and they don't need congressmen.
They don't want them. Overarching energy is a Hierophant. It's your job as a government.
Yeah.
Lesson to be learned. You got the Page of Swords. Trump's willing to attack any institution. Any kind of rules don't apply.
Yeah,
and he's willing to attack.
Going to be a dictator. Rules don't apply. You just do what you want.
Exactly. Come on, I'm taking on all comers. Bring it on. Outcome, Ace of Cups. Not going to be happy about this.
Cry.
He took an action and we're not happy about it. So let's get a clarifier. So what about the Ace of Cups? Are they going to do anything about this Ace of Cups? What are they going to do? They're going to have to manifest a different direction. Let's start at the stop at the major arcana is what you tell me. Time to change directions.
Yeah, take back your power.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They don't want to do that. At least several Republican ones don't.
Yeah, no, they're more than willing to let Trump drive it all forward.
It's interesting times that we live in. Yeah. Just leave it there. Thank you everyone for watching this video and support our channel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. Our subscriptions go up some days, they go down some days. We're just kind of at that point where we're treading water with the YouTube algorithm.
Currently, Marina at Heart Center Tarot is stealing all the subscribers.
Yes, go get a Marina.
She's at the subscriber drinking fountain and drinking deeply. And it's funny because we've all been through that with this channel, my channel, and now hers. It's probably some programming in the algorithm. You hit a certain level, and I think YouTube starts putting up their videos more on the FYP, on your For You pages or up next type things. Kind of like, new talent, new next big thing. And she is now reaping the benefits of it. And now we're just boring.
Yeah.
We're yesterday's news. We'll figure it out on our own. We don't need YouTube's help anymore. They're busy with they've moved on to the new trophy brides. Anyways, thank you everyone.
And we've got the world card as the secret card for the rest of us. Yeah, we are the world, right?
We are the people.
Take care, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The flames are giving us away.
Damn it, I hate when that happens. Maybe a double secret card?
Sure, you can give it a double secret card.
Ah, the strength card.
Yes, thank you for sticking around.
Showing strength.
And you're wondering why this video ended at 21:30 but went on to 22:10.
Some people don't pay attention to that. It just gave you a little more time to finish that cup of coffee.